Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today, my friends, the end is finally here. Oh, we're talking about Doomsday. But most importantly, we're talking about the people who prep for those Doomsday. Doomsday preppers!
When survival's the goal, it's into the spider hole. And it's cozy in here.
Another interesting facet of the world of people who are preparing for the end. People who want to be prepared for when shit hits the fan. But there's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world right now. Inflation. The worst thing that's happening is inflation. How about monkeypox? Maybe even potentially World War III? Whoa. Pretty much what I'm trying to get at is the world is going to end. We're all gonna die! I'm kidding, we're gonna be fine right now. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe by the time I post this, we're all dead. I don't know, I can't tell you. Not a fortune teller. But thank God there's one group of people out there who can circumvent all of these horrible things that are happening. So today I just wanted to take a deep dive down into the rabbit hole of people who are going to survive the apocalypse. There's a group of people that are here to kind of show us the way. And of course, I'm talking about Doomsday preppers.
Here's to the end of the world.
Let's go. Now, we need to realize that these Doomsday preppers are rational, but albeit paranoid people. A lot of people ask, why? Why save 50,000 cans of corn in your cellar? Well, you never know when shit's gonna hit the fan. But preparing for disasters is not a crazy thing. I'll be honest, I think it's downright smart. I'm from the Midwest where there's tornadoes left and right. God's just sending little twisters to come greet your house and throw it into the air. And it's nice to feel like, you know what, we got a little provisions just in case something bad happens. Is there a flood? Is my electricity gonna go out? When I lived in Texas, I was without power for like 2 weeks. And it was brutal. I did not prepare for that at all. Wish I would have. That would have been a much easier experience. When I was sitting in Texas and there was the deep freeze, I watched Amadeus, I think 6 times on my phone. If anything happens, I'm gonna blow my brains out. Like if the world ends, I will not survive. Just take me, God. When something bad happens, you wanna make sure that you have the right tools to be prepared. If a natural disaster strikes, like earthquakes, tornadoes, and tsunamis, you wanna make sure you have the basic necessities, like food, water, flashlights, and power. There comes a separation, my friends, where you go from being prepared for a lightning storm and being paranoid that the collapse of civilization is right at our doorstep, right? That's a leap.
I'm preparing my family for the imminent collapse of the United States economy.
Wait, I want to thank today's sponsor, Gamer Subs! Now, I like to get nice and hyped up in the morning, but sometimes I don't prefer coffee. Sometimes I don't want a carbonated energy drink like Red Bull or Monster. I just want something a little more fresh, something a little more me. And that's why I drink Gamer Subs. Not only does it have 0 calories, so my big fat fucking belly doesn't get any bigger. Also, no sugar as well for that stubborn waistline. And it's even keto friendly for any of my little gym rats out there who are trying to protein bulk right now. I see you. All of the flavors are amazing. I haven't had one Gamer Subs flavor that I didn't like. All of them are extremely tasty, especially mine, raw meat. It's watermelon cantaloupe. It's basically summer in a cup. Wow. They also sell amazing waifu cup that resell like goddamn blood diamonds on the black market, so be sure to check those out as well because those are a hot commodity. And if you use my promo code PAPAMEAT on any orders, not even on my products, you'll get 10% off your entire order. And just let them know Papa Meat sent you. So thank you so much to Gamer Subs for sponsoring this video, and hey, stay energized, drink Gamer Subs. Back to the video.
Doomsday prepping became a popular movement in the mid-20th century during the Cold War, which wasn't really that cold, Nick.
It wasn't?
No. You could say that the Great Depression sparked Americans or people, probably just Americans, to hoard what they have. Who knows? It's mine! Don't touch it! Get away from me! People go through some dicey shit and all of a sudden, there's no I in team. But that became, they're like, the team. It's all about I.
There's me in team.
There's me in team? That's true. It's backwards, but it's there. With the threat of a nuclear war looming, people were encouraged by the US government to build fallout shelters and to stockpile supplies in the event of a nuclear apocalypse. I love that. I got the US government's just like, everybody, real quick, gather round. In your backyard, we're gonna start digging holes, and that's gonna stop you from having to worry about a nuclear bomb being dropped in your head. Go have fun, guys.
Have you seen the old commercials where it's like, if a nuclear bomb drops, hide under your desk?
I love that. But my favorite one was, if there's an active school shooter, we're gonna turn off the lights and hide under our desk. He's like, Nobody's home in here. All right, well, these lights are off. I'm probably not gonna go in there. But you also have religious reasons, right? For example, the Church of the Latter-day Saints believe that the end times are nigh since the dawn of their religion. So they encourage their followers to have 3 to 12 months of supplies at all times. When it comes to doomsday prepping, the goal is to have enough supplies to last you a few months inside your bunker when the world goes to shit. AKA when shit hits the fan. We watch Doomsday Preppers, the show. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but that when shit hits the fan is going to be, it's part of my everyday vernacular now. I just want to say that.
When the hits the fan.
When it hits the fan.
If hits a fan.
Hey, it's gonna hit the fan sometime.
Hits the fan in 5 years, I'll probably be okay.
If you can survive in your little bunker while everyone else is fighting for resources outside, then within a few months, 90% of the population will die out, and you can emerge from your bunker as a goddamn survivor. Which we've already seen some of this, ladies and gentlemen. Does anyone remember toilet paper? Does anyone remember toilet paper during the pandemic? Hello? As soon as shit starts hitting the fan, people hoard stuff like motherfuckers. I had the worst food poisoning. I tried making some chicken at home, did not cook all the way through, and I had horrible diarrhea. So it's that kind of pain in your asshole where it feels like chapped lips. I didn't even know the pandemic was that big of a deal at the time. This is before, I mean, I really knew what was going on. I went to the store when I went to the aisle and like every single piece of toilet paper was gone. That's when I knew. I've experienced stuff before where people raid grocery stores and stuff and you're like, they left all the bottles of water, but they took all the goddamn Tang. Something's going on here. Okay. The thing about being a doomsday prepper is that it is a beautiful spectrum. On one side, you have rational people, and on the other side, you have mentally deranged people. So you have rational people who are like, hey, it might storm, it'd be nice to have some Duracell batteries, some flashlights, and some water. And there's some people who are like, if you come near me, I'm gonna kill you. But that's what we're trying to figure out today, dude. Which end of the spectrum are you on? So level 1, the toe dippers. Ooh, the water's cold. I just ate a pizza. I'm not going to jump in for cramps. These are people who have a case of water, some canned food, and a few rolls of toilet paper. If you went into their house, you'd probably be like, a little extra supplies. They probably go through a lot. I used to go to my friend's house. His mom used to have, I'm not even joking, used to have 150 rolls of toilet paper. She was a little...
Have you seen that video of the lady getting hit with the brick in the car?
There's a video of a woman getting hit.
This guy's driving and a brick falls off a truck and lands in his mother's head.
That was her. These people, the toe dippers, usually have an emergency kit with candles, maybe a flashlight, a first aid supplies, you know, just in case anything happens. It's more so just being like, something bad might happen, but it's an afterthought. But then we get into level 2. And level 2 is where we start getting a little shaky, all right? We call this the paranoid. These are the people who get a little further beyond preparing for your occasional emergency and expect weeks to months long emergencies such as civil unrest and severe natural disasters. Which let me tell you, Nick, if I was younger, I'd be like, civil unrest, what the f are you talking about? Yeah, the past 4 years, goddamn, I might even be at level 2, dude. I'm a little paranoid. I've experienced so many natural disasters anyways. Texas, the deep freeze, goddamn pipes burst everywhere, flooded the house. Unbelievable. The paranoid also believe that people are going to immediately raid the grocery stores, so you need to have a full stock pantry for you and your family in order to weather this storm. Once again, doesn't seem that paranoid whenever I've seen this firsthand. COVID, toilet paper, all kinds of stuff.
So you're never more than 20 feet away from a firearm in this house. One example is a small firearm and a number 10 can of peas. And I remember that because it's my pea shooter.
These prepper pantries are rooms or garages in people's homes where they stockpile non-perishable food items and emergency supplies that typically last a few months to even a couple years, which I can't even imagine. We could survive for years. That has to be like your entire garage is just filled with stuff. Even like canned food, like, you know how much canned food, years? Some of the items that these preppers may have include shelf-stable foods like rice, beans, and canned food, water storage containers, solar generators, some basic tools. Not Ryobi, dude. Nick bought Ryobi stuff for the studio and it pissed me off. Just get DeWalt. Why'd you do it, Nick?
That's what they had.
They didn't have any DeWalt? You're a liar. A portable stove for cooking, maybe a gun and some ammo, maybe, I doubt it, and tarps, tents, blankets, and sleeping bags. Which honestly, out of this paranoid section, doesn't feel too crazy. Doesn't feel crazy. It's the excess. Well, it's the excess, and it's also immediately jumping to the conclusion that the worst is going to happen. Or prepping as if tomorrow it's going to happen. If the pandemic happened and people did that, I'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, we're in trap. But like right now, if something happened, I don't know. Which I guess it is just hindsight, but to me, I'm just like, why don't you calm down, dude? You need years of perishables? We got enough beans to last us 4 winters. Some preppers in this category also have what is called a bug-out bag. These are duffel bags that are packed with essential items that can last 48 to 72 hours and are stored in a safe place. Bug-out bag. The bug-out bag.
Most people call this a bug-out pack.
but I just refer to it as a survival pack. There are birds and ducks and things, and if I had to, potentially I could catch some meat for dinner with my sling.
Which you call it a bug out bag because if something hits the fan, you need to get a bug out bag. Get out.
Need something for my bug out bag. Bug out bag, gotta have it.
Also, you know what's kind of crazy too? This is also enters that level of paranoia. Think about how often they have to update the bug out bag. These beans are no good. We gotta update the bug out bag. If an emergency requires you to leave your house, aka bug out, then you can quickly and easily grab your bag and head to your new destination.
We're here at Walmart. I've got $100 for my $100 survival kit Walmart challenge.
$100 survival kit Walmart challenge. That does not feel that hard. For $100 at Walmart, you kidding me? He's like, I was able to pick up 2 guns, a fishing pole, and enough perishables to last us 4 autumns. The way she jolted out of that thing, goddamn, dude. Did her dirty with the edit there, though. She's like trying to turn and like smile and be like, this is what I got, and he's just like, cut that. And similarly, there are get home bags that preppers have in their cars that contain enough supplies to get them safely home. I got a pistol, a flashlight, and enough Cliff Bars to last me 6 autumns. I'm done with the winters. I'm doing autumns now. The winters I'm not scared about. The autumns is when it gets unruly and start getting diarrheas. In this category, you also learn basic skills such as CPR, medical training, and even some survival skills. Here's the thing. I just want to say, I know I said that we labeled this level 2 paranoia. It is paranoia. I still don't think this is totally egregious. The problem with these group of people is I bet you they talk about it a lot. Did you just see what happened on the news? And you're just like, oh, goddamn, dude. To me, it's mostly, I already got enough shit going on in my life. Diabetes, got acid reflux, hemorrhoids, back acne. My fingers are starting to get hairy, like my Bulgarian grandpa's. I got ducks dying on me. And then some guys just like, did you just see that they actually just shot off 6 missiles? It's probably coming any day now. But can we just talk about how horrible everything? Please. Oh, I'd love that. Let's do that. Please. Thank you. Yeah, thank God I got my bug out bag though and 6 rounds of corn just in case you need to make it through the autumn. Level 2 is probably where I would still be friends with this person, but level 3, this is when I start like, I can't anymore. Which level 3 we have as the Survivalist, aka the LARPer. This category is for the extreme preppers who have swallowed the Doomsday pill. These are people that are preparing and sometimes even hoping for the collapse of civilization, government tyranny, and apocalyptic events such as nuclear war, global pandemic, and even an asteroid impact. Oh, please, God, please hurl that rock at our Earth. Please, God! At this level of prepper, you're basically fully committed to the idea that the world is ending, and you are so deeply entrenched in the philosophy that this is now your identity as a person. There is even a dedicated show all about Doomsday preppers showing off the crazy lengths that people will go to prepare for this end. That's not just the end.
You have to get ready. There's no other way but to prepare. If you're gonna survive.
No longer are you storing canned greens and rice in your pantry. Rice? What are you talking about? Rice and canned beans in your garage? You got soft hands, sweetheart. I've been prepping since I was 6 years old.
There's kids down here who are prepping since.
Oh, I know there's kids. I feel bad for these. You know what kind of reminds me of like a cult, like a religious cult, a little bit. You know what I mean? You ever see like a kid dressed up in like a like suit? He's like, oh God, he's an awesome God, he reigns. I'm like, that motherfucker didn't stand a chance, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're older and you're just like, dude, I just love getting the gospel out. It just creeps me out, dude. When I see little kids and they're just like, I can't wait to go to heaven. But instead of, you know, your little cupcake factory that you were in before, now you're investing thousands of dollars into prepper-specific brands that can last years. Such as our good old friend, Jim Baker. Remember Jim Baker? Love Jim Baker's food buckets.
This is Mexican food that real life Mexicans approve of. You know, this is not gringo food. This is good food.
The Jim Baker food bucket we will buy one day, and I will try some of his soup. $300 in the Jim Baker bucket can get you 144 meals with a guaranteed shelf life of 25 years. If you purchase that bucket and 25 years later you're just like, I didn't even need this thing. Well, I had all these potato soups from Jim Baker, but guess that didn't pan out. For $4,000, you can get the Defender Dozen. We gotta spend $4,000 on the Defender Dozen. It's gonna be crazy. This gives you 2,448 total servings of food for $4,000 up front now. You're getting almost $2,500 servings of food. Does that seem like a lot? If across you and your family.
Technically, like for a family of 6.
A family of 6.
Which, divide that by 6, it's about 400.
400 meals, that lasts you like a year. Not even a year. Well, just cut it down to 2 a day. That f***ing sucks. You, Jim Baker.
Oh, good.
And if you're cheap, like me, you can buy Costco's emergency food buckets instead. $80 for 150 meals. Dude, Costco always just does it best. $80 for 150 meals? Come on. That's 50 cents a meal, and then it's just like, dude, Jim Baker's deal. I can just stock up on Costco shit. Another popular item among your shelves are MREs, which are meals ready to eat that are used to eat out in fields by the U.S. military personnel. You know, I used to always think of peanut butter was a big thing. A sniper can survive on 2 tablespoons of peanut butter for 16 days. Most MREs suck, so the term rat f***ing was coined in the military because people would open up the pockets and only take out the good shit like desserts or whatever else was in there and just leave the rest. They're like, I'm not even gonna touch that other shit. Some preppers even have canned dog food in their pantries just to protect the puppers in the event of an apocalypse.
It's not for the dogs, it's for them.
They're gonna eat the canned dog food?
Chicken morsels. And they're just really good.
It's really good.
He has Chef Boyardee right here, Nick. I don't even look at that Italian son of a bitch anymore. All I want's pedigree. There's 3 different kinds of meats and carrots in this. Says so right on the can. But eventually this supply will dwindle, so you're gonna have to live off the land. So you better learn how to farm your own crops, kill your own meat, and collect your own water. Else you're f***ed. So what, you got your fancy dog food, your pedigree, but you don't even know how to grow your own crops? Good luck, buddy. But let's talk about shelter. People think of doomsday preppers, they think of one thing, and it's doomsday bunkers, dude. Your little straw house that the big bad wolf can blow over isn't big enough for you and your growing supplies, and hell, your growing family. Most preppers have a room or a basement to store their supplies, but if you're a true doomsday prepper, then you have to have your own dedicated underground shelter. If you're like, I'm a doomsday prepper, and it's all in your house, you don't have some shit built underground. You're right, dude. But where are you gonna put all your stuff? These range from concrete domes to fully fledged steel bunkers. And some preppers construct their own. But if you're like me and you can't build your own, then you can get someone to professionally install a bunker right in your backyard. I saw a Reddit post years ago about a guy making his own bunker and a man cave out of a shipping container. But the problem with the guy making it, he wouldn't have saw the criticism he got on his own post. The thing was basically a death trap. He had no air vents, so he basically was going to suffocate. And the container that he used to store pesticides. So he would have just suffocated and just been poisoned to death. All for a little man cave, which to be fair, kind of metal. I watched the football games in the rat poison den that I like to watch my games in. Simple bunker can cost anywhere between $20,000 to $80,000. A simple bunker, okay? These are underground structures, typically made of steel, reinforced with concrete, that contain 1 to 2 rooms in order for you to store food, water, and other survival necessities. And there are dozens of companies throughout the world that specialize in doomsday bunkers, like the company Atlas Survival Shelters, who have prefabricated bunkers that they can install in your very own backyard. That'd be a crazy thing, man, in your suburban neighborhood. What's Douglas putting in his backyard? They have a wide variety of options to choose from, ranging from a simple 5x7 design to a 6,000 square foot military complex. This looks like the f***ing Fallout game. I was just wondering, because it looks like 7 families interconnected their yard with a giant metal structure system. All the people are like, I don't think it was me. Or there are even nuclear silo condos. In the state of Kansas, a company is renovating Cold War era nuclear missile silos into condos. It's actually kind of sick. The Survival Condo Project is a luxury bunker development designed to provide safety and comfort in the event of catastrophe. Well, just because we're surviving doesn't mean we can't look good while doing it. These silos can hold up to 75 people and have over 20,000 square feet of floor space per silo. They span 200 feet underground with 15 floors. The facility has a shared pool, gym, bar and lounge, and a custom theater, a library, classrooms, medical center, and, you need the last one, a command center. Also, not to mention, there's Wi-Fi. Because when the world does end, you better believe all of our beautiful internet companies who love us will keep that shit running forever. That even when Earth is gone, those fiber cables are going to be working, all right? If you're interested in owning one of the spaces, the project features a few unit options. For 1.5 million buckaroos, you can buy half a floor condo. Not too bad. For only, what, $1.5 million? Chump change. Chump change. This gets you 900 square feet of living space, 1 or 2 beds, a kitchen, and a TV in every entry. It's a lot of TVs. You're welcome. Or for $3 million, you can get the full floor. That's about a little over 1,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, then a kitchen, a great room, and a dining room. But if you're like me, then you might want to go for the $4.5 million package, which can get you 3,600 square feet condo on 2 goddamn floors. You can even pay for a custom build complex ranging anywhere from 50,000 square feet to 300,000. Did you want to live in a legitimate military base factory? You okay? Just making sure. You can build this out to be your own specification. You can modify it however you want to your tailored apocalypse experience. I think that seems pretty cool. You can have a giant pool, an arcade room, a theater, a full gym, and a conference room are just some of the examples of the spaces you can get built. I like the conference room. What meeting are you having? The meeting of the minds. Well, the world has ended. What next? Thank God we have this inquisitive conference room to think in. Let's access the internet. Here's the internet is down. Even better example is the $18 million bunker house in Las Vegas, Nevada. This bad boy is 15,000 square feet, and it has 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a dance floor, yeah, a barbecue, yeah, a pool, a 4-hole golf course, 2 hot tubs, a sauna, a bar, lighting systems that can simulate sunlight and twinkly stars, artificial trees, fake rocks, and hand-painted murals simulating the outside world, a 1,000-gallon water tank, a cryogenic capsule that can hold up to 5 human heads and 4 bodies. Not to mention, it has cell phone reception, cable, and internet. Thank God. And you can rent the property out right now for receptions, weddings, and even dance parties. That actually does sound kind of cool. But I will say, seeing pictures of it, the outside scenery thing makes it look like you are being held captive by some murderer. It's like, let me leave. In time. I feel claustrophobic looking at it. Also, I want to say this. There's like a family where they're like, let's go down the elevator ride. I would not get in that elevator. That would be my fate. Thank God we have the bunker. Can't wait to play some golf. Get my sauna.
Wow. It's really fast. We're going deep, guys. Don't be fooled by the slowness of the wall. We are now 50 feet down.
Sure, we talked about the bunkers and where you stay, but let's talk about defense, because in the apocalypse, and from what video games and movies have told me, it's a dangerous place. You have food and shelter, but no way to defend it. That's why you need to stockpile guns and ammunition and learn how to fight when shit hits the fan. Like Steve H., who's preparing for the United States economy to collapse, which it will. It's going to. Better buckle up. Every Monday, he sets prepping goals for his family. And by the end of the week, everyone in the family has to contribute to the prepping supplies. This isn't fun and games. He also vacuum seals his weapons to make sure no moisture gets in. Good man, Steve. And a good tip from Steve is to place explosives around your property to ensure that no one can break your defenses, because they'll blow up. Checkmate. Steve often performs drills that simulate what it would be like to have his property invaded. These kids are gonna enjoy that. Dude, sometimes you have to make sure the fam is up to date. Sometimes shooting at a car just makes you feel a little better. But you know what? Steve is a pretty sane guy. He glued back his own tooth instead of going to the dentist. Sometimes you gotta drill your teeth in, dude. It's also important to live off the grid and away from society. That way, when the world does end, you're already far away from anyone trying to steal your precious supplies. Like Michael, for example, who fears his land will be targeted in an overpopulated world. He's like, this is the Garden of Eden. All right, and if the world's overpopulated, people are gonna try to come and take my land. Michael created his own alarm system using bird calls. He said he has studied the language of the bird for 2 decades and is now passing on to his children. He can even mimic the bird noises. Take it away, Michael. He doesn't want to have to be relying on guns and prefers to throw axes, which he made his kids practice for 7 years. He also makes them practice martial arts as well, just in case they have to fight any invaders on their land. He also uses a throwing stick, claims that they're just as good as shotguns.
Hands in the air. Hands in the air now. What do you do?
I have a feeling that girl would have gotten shot in the back of the head right there. I'm almost like, let me see your hand. She like turns around, pop. Michael also gave his son his umbilical cord back once he turned into a man.
You're entering a new stage of your life.
You're no longer a little kid anymore, turning into a young man. This here is your umbilical cord.
He's 12. He's a man. Son, just want to give you this back. Oh, what do you do with that? You just put it wherever. And if you got the cash, you can install an incinerator in your bunker as a last-ditch effort for intruders.
You can simply push this button right here and eliminate that threat. A torch fire chamber.
Just burn them down.
Or run a homemade device that turns water into fire. This is an incinerator room. And also, we're able to turn water into fire. Did I mention that already? I feel like I'd just rather build a castle. But sometimes I believe with these doomsday preppers, as goofy as they may seem, I think that sometimes it goes a little too far. Controversial opinion. Sometimes prepping for the end can lead to tragedy. Survivalist named Peter Keller feared that the world was going to end. So for 8 years, he worked on a secret bunker he dubbed Camp Keller, which could be confusing because of Helen Keller's fame. In one of his journals, he had sketches of a bunker with notes on how he wanted a laboratory space to study viruses. This is some Resident Evil shit. Then in 2012, when the bunker was complete, Peter killed his wife and 18-year-old daughter, set his house on fire in order to live in the bunker. I'm laughing because of how shocking that is, all right? That's not me laughing at the situation. That's just unhinged. Could you not have just lived in the bunker without doing that? Why didn't you just live in the bunker?
He was so paranoid of like people finding him that's why he killed his family.
So they couldn't even tell him.
But then that's what like led people to find him.
If he just would have been like, hey, I'm divorcing you, I don't want to see the kids anymore, which is also horrible. Not as horrible as murdering them. But after several weeks of searching, Peter was found in the bunker dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. When he was found dead in the bunker, there were weapons and ammunition, explosive devices, bulletproof vests, 45 pounds of beans, wine-making stuff, and various of other survival essentials. And for years, he would vlog about the construction of the bunker, as well as conspire to kill his family. In one of the videos, he says, I'm getting to the point where just trying to live and pay bills and live as a civilian, go to work, it just freaks me out. It's actually more comfortable for me to think about living out here robbing banks, pharmacies, and just taking what I want for as long as I can. At least it will be exciting.
Think about living out here, robbing banks, pharmacies, just taking what I want. At least it'll be exciting.
The Diaries of a Legitimate Madman. A reason we bring this up at the end, I think, is because paranoia can amplify fear. But I think people fantasizing over things can become an obsession. I think a lot of people would get under the impression of like, well, why would you want something horrible to happen? When I don't think that these people want these things to happen. I think that they just believe it is going to happen. And that becomes the fantasy. That is the narrative in their head that repeats over and over and over again. There's nothing wrong with stockpiling beans and corn, or even having something to protect yourself in your house like a gun, or having a flashlight, something that gives you a bit of security. But it's when you amplify these things to such a means that once again as affects others or affects people around you that you love. I mean, it becomes a dastardly deceptive obsession that just completely overconsumes every other facet of your life, where it's the only thing you think about. That's where I think the paranoia and the doomsday prepping gets a little dicey. If the world ends, I'm sorry to say it, we're probably all f***ed.
Not me.
Not Nick, because he did spend the $1.5 million and has the bunker in his backyard, but that's his story, not mine. I just want to say that trying to be prepared is not a bad thing. I think trying to instill the idea that the world is going to end is also probably not a fictitious thing to say either. I think I'd like to live in an existence where I can do my part now and try to make it a better place for today. That's all I gotta say. Also, I like beans and corn. So that's our video today on Doomsday Preppers. Are you a Doomsday Prepper? Hopefully the world doesn't explode so you guys can see this video. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
This is just all part of our preparedness kit so that we can have transportation. The way that we educate our children and our prepping needs is basically show them ways of preparing for events and natural disasters that are going to take place, that have been taking place